Today, I'm going to teach you guys how to recover a YouTube channel that has gotten hacked. Now, keep in mind, this is just some stuff that I wish I knew before it actually happened. And the only reason I even know any of this stuff is because I have a bunch of YouTuber friends. So why listen to me? That's because I myself do YouTube, and this is my YouTube channel right over here. As you can see, tons of followers and a bunch of videos and, all that stuff. But essentially, a few years ago, this actually got hacked. Now, exactly why, I'm not too sure about, but it is a common thing. So the reason I got hacked was because of logging. But regardless, this applies to any sort of situation. But for this solution, it is kind of specific to logging. Now, what logging is the definition right here. You can pause the vid to read it if you'd like. But essentially, it's when someone is logged into your computer. And the reason why that's a problem is because they have access to just everything on it. So for example, imagine you use Chrome like me, right? And then you save all of your passwords via Chrome. And if you do this, it's very convenient, but also if someone has access to your computer, they have access to your Chrome. And if they have access to your Chrome, they have access to everything that you own. You understand? So you can kind of see why this is such a bad thing. And yeah, it sucked, honestly. Like it felt heart-wrenching. But some of the ways that they do target you, I'm just going to go over briefly. One, it's email via sponsorships. One is through screensaver files. Never run these because for some reason they have like a priority due to the requirements that they need to run some of these. So a lot of like issues kind of come with this. So be careful when running these files. And the last one is a batch file, which is usually like something that opens your command prompt. If it does that, be a little wary, okay? So now that you kind of know how to identify these, if this is the case and you did click on one of these and afterwards, things just start hitting the fan. And by that, I mean everything that you own gets changed. So as you can see here, this is my phone, right? I literally, like in the span of minutes, bro, they changed out all of my emails, okay? They changed up my emails, changed the verification code, gave me a security alert. There was just so much going on in this time span. And so with that being said, this is kind of how it looks like on my phone. And then essentially I emailed them because I was like, oh shoot, right? My biggest issue was like, not only did they take my YouTube channel, but they also took my Gmail, which was, I think, the biggest issue. Because if they took your YouTube, but you have your Gmail, you can recover it through their recovery system. If they took both, you can't recover it through their recovery system. And so this is something that I used to solve it. So boom, email, as you can see, someone signing in with a goddamn iPhone 13 in freaking Ukraine. But this is what my channel looked like once it got hacked. It's usually a bunch of crypto stuff. And yeah, just some more proof that this actually did happen to me, and that was the channel. But zooming out to the solutions area. So the easiest thing you can do is contact Team YouTube. I know it sounds a little stupid, sounds a little redundant, but having some sort of Twitter presence does help. But even if you don't, there's tons of people that use this method. So go over to Twitter, also known as X now, and find at Team YouTube. Okay, so it's the official account with 2 million followers. And what you want to do is at them. So as you can see here, this is basically me searching up Team YouTube. I put in hack because I wanted to show you guys how people do it. As you can see, this random person, I don't even know him. I don't know what went on with him, no, not a clue. But essentially his YouTube got hacked and everything changed and he's requesting help. And as you can see, Team YouTube does reply. And so the same thing applies to anybody that does this. Essentially, it's just a super easy way to contact them. And that way things don't get flooded on their end. So after you've done this, you can just, copy any of these prompts or you can make your own and tell them what's going on. You will then be prompted most likely to either reply to them or DM them. For my case, it was through a DM. As you can see, this was like the earliest point when all of this happened. So essentially they were just making sure everything was correct. They wanted my channel URL and then so on and so forth. They will literally guide you through this. Now, one thing I do want to mention here, it's going to be frustrating as hell because, a lot of you guys use it as your income source or whatever. Like this matters to a lot of people. But I do want to mention just be patient because it is recoverable. They will figure your stuff out. They will get you help, okay? So don't stress about it too much. I think the biggest thing was I was so impatient and I was sitting there, I'm like, damn, my AdSense is gone, my income source is gone. What do I even do, right? I was stressing all day when all I had to do was just wait for them to take care of it. But keep in mind, you do need to do this process, okay? The longer it takes for you to do this process, the longer it'll take for it to be recovered. But essentially, what they end up doing is usually they lead you to some form or like an account recovery thing, and then give this a try, okay? Now, this was kind of stupid because I've already tried this, right? Remember here? I've already tried using this account recovery. So this is a mistake that I also did. This account recovery that they give you is different from the one you have public access to. So even if it seems a little redundant, do this every single time, because every single time it could be a different variation of this that they're just sending you that gives you different options. Okay, so that's very important. This middle part is just kind of showcasing the top of a form that they gave me to fill out. After I filled it out, then they gave me another one of these. And then these, after doing that form, this basically got my account back really, really fast. Okay, so it was all good and all dandy. One thing I do recommend is the moment you get your channel back, check the AdSense, okay? Make sure they didn't change it. If they did change it, make sure this changes back, okay? Super important. And keep in mind, if you're changing AdSenses, it might take you 30 days because if they changed it to theirs, you gotta wait this period and all the money is basically voided. It sucks. It is what happens sometimes, but I will give you a bit of optimism that a lot of these hacks are not real people. These are bots, okay? That's why they posted all, like, they had this whole video thing set up. They got all of these things set up, but they didn't change my AdSense, you know? They're here to basically advertise to your audience, rather than just kind of ruining and crumbling everything that you own, okay? So that's kind of the good part. And just keep in mind, they do have an old backup of your channel, which is good. The one thing that I did find a little flawed though was this personally. All of my public playlists were deleted. Why? I don't know, bro. It had to be personal or something. I don't know. But all of my public playlists were completely wiped. My private playlists were not wiped. Super odd, super weird. I don't know why that is, but this is just something that I noticed. So with these steps, you should be able to get your channel back. And again, this process may take some time. At least for me, every time this happened to me, it usually takes 1 to 2 days worth of time, and then you get your channel back. But yeah, I just wanted to make a quick little vid because I don't see a lot of people talking about this. And the only reason that I even, got to go through this method at all is because I had YouTuber friends that were bigger than me that basically advised me back when they got hacked. But I don't see a lot of people talking about this, so I just wanted to put it out there. Hope this was helpful.